military is honored the most in the world. It always acts on the marshal's orders. No matter how the weather is, the military never backs out from its duty. They stay ever ready to serve the country. They are always tied by time. This is the physical military, which serves just one region of the earth. But Baba has called us the spiritual military, which has to serve the entire world.
ये बहुत ऊंची मिलिट्री है.
This is a very great military.
क्या है?
What is it?
ऊंची तो ऊंची मिलिट्री है.
It is the greatest military.
जैसे देश देशांतर में मिलिट्री होती है, तो कितनी अटेंटिव रहती है, अलर्ट रहती है.
For example, the military in the various countries stays so attentive and alert.
तो ऐसे ही
Similarly,
ये रूहानी मिलिट्री, इसको बहुत अलर्ट होकर के रहना है.
this spiritual military should also be very alert. So today, is the spiritual military alert and ever ready like the physical military? Is it tied by time or does it waste time? The physical military has to make a lot of physical effort. However, there is no physical hard work here. There is just the hard work of being in remembrance and imparting knowledge. Under a marshal, there are many commanders who take charge of their front. Likewise, here, the sisters in charge of taking care of a center are the commanders of the spiritual military's marshal. But in the marshal's absence, the centers where the atmosphere should be full of knowledge and yoga, soldiers are losing their spirit. In the past, halls were so packed with students that there wasn't enough space to even sit. And today, they are becoming vacant as the number of students is reducing. Soldiers always keep practicing. Those who don't practice, their weapons become rusty. However, there aren't any physical weapons in the spiritual military. It is the weapons of knowledge with which we have to train ourselves. Whether the gathering is small or big, whether the sanskars harmonize or not, the army will become strong when it works in unity.
संगठन की शक्ति होती है तो उमंग उत्साह आता है.
There is zeal and enthusiasm in the power of gathering.
नहीं तो अकेले पड़ जाते हैं तो हतोत्साहित हो जाते हैं.
On the other hand, when you are left alone, you lose enthusiasm. Even parrots recite shlokas in the ashrams of sages and saints. They attract the visitors. However, in the Madhubans, parrots with a red ring around the neck, that is, those that keep chirping knowledge, are rare to find nowadays. Eklavya, who lived in jungle, went ahead of even princes just by remembering his guru. Good warriors train all by themselves and still give a tough time to an entire army. The confluent sage Adi Narayan himself is a living proof of it. A professor from Banaras didn't approve his thesis for publication. The Brahmakumaris didn't give him a chance to give knowledge, and they even expelled him from their center.
मेडिटेशन कमरे में भाई लोग मेडिटेशन कर रहे थे, तो मैंने भाइयों को कहा इस भाई को निकालो बाहर. तो वो निकलने तैयार नहीं था, लेकिन 4 भाइयों ने उसको पकड़ करके टिंगाटोली करके सीढ़ी से उतार दिया था. उसके बाद फिर वो नहीं आया है.
He boarded a train in 1969 itself. There is also a song in Sindhi. He got a telegram from Allah and boarded a train. He couldn't even settle at one fixed place, still he was not the one to lose and continued to impart the knowledge. Sometimes he halted at bus stops, sometimes in parks, and sometimes he halted at the homes of students and continued to explain the knowledge. Baba has said in the Avyaktavani, a Kumar can do whatever he wishes. He proved this statement true by establishing a big gathering of AIVV as he did service with his own endeavor. But today, the PBKs are stuck with equipments and gadgets. Instead of making an endeavor, they are spending all their time only in the world of jobs and businesses. It has been said in the Gita, you have to perform actions, but not wish for its fruit. However, they do service when they see its result, otherwise they become slack. The sands of time are running out. Time is flying by the day. A second lost never returns. There are 195 countries in such a big world. There is a population of 550 million. The Brahmakumaris didn't recognize the Father, still they have certainly delivered the knowledge of the soul in 133 countries and are moving ahead. Baba has placed the responsibility of establishing heaven on the shoulders of the Prajapita Brahmakumaris, but they haven't been able to deliver the message of the Father, even in the whole of India yet. Baba definitely gets the news of all the centers. Baba also writes, very little service takes place in your center. Perhaps you just sleep and eat.
ऐसे भी है मुर्दे। अच्छा खाना चाहिए, आराम चाहिए।
There are also such corpses who want good food and rest.
याद रख लेना।
Keep in mind,
अच्छी ब्रह्मा कुमारियों के ऊपर ये ग्रहचारी भी बैठ जाती है।
that this bad planetary influence affects even the very good Brahma Kumaris.
समझा ना?
Understood?
फिर उनकी सारी सर्विस ठंडी हो जाती है।
Then all their service comes to a standstill. The soul of Adi Lakshmi, who didn't know African language, who couldn't even speak English fluently, went abroad and increased the number of centers there. She prepared her own hands and galloped ahead. Baba has said in an Avyaktavani, you are doing good service. Bap Dada received the news that an obstacle-free, fast service is taking place. Just like Africa has sped up the task of giving the message, similarly, everyone needs to do the same. They have prepared their own hands and are moving ahead. You have made fast progress in service, haven't you? What specialty was mentioned? The service hasn't taken place in any other zone to the extent it has taken place now. It was done fast, wasn't it? Congratulations, you are doing good service. We just have to change the viewpoint of seeing and thinking. We shouldn't consider ourselves to be ordinary soldiers. Ordinary soldiers of Shivaji conquered big forts. We will be able to be victorious in future only when we make an attempt at present. It is the duty of every commander that is in charge to create an atmosphere of knowledge and yoga in their respective centers. They should organize programs to read out Baba's literature and Gita shlokas, to have Hindi and regional course classes, speeches and question answers of knowledge. They should train the sisters and make them sharp in knowledge. Not just sisters, but classes should be organized even for mothers. In fact, they should also be trained to explain the knowledge. It is because we, the swords, cannot move ahead without shields. It is the task of you Shiv Shaktis to make every mother sharp in knowledge. Teachers will make others equal to themselves. Hands are required a lot. Even in this, mostly, mothers are required. No matter how busy someone is with their official work, whether someone looks after the kitchen or does farming, but after belonging to the Father, everyone should know how to give the introduction of the Father. It is because the Father has given us the very name Shiv Shakti Pandav Sena. This is why it is necessary for everyone to practice imparting knowledge.
माताओं की सेवा करें ज्ञान की, पुरुषों की सेवा करें.
Mothers should serve the mothers with knowledge. Men should serve men.
कोई मना है क्या?
Are they forbidden?
जो सेवा पुरुष कर सकते हैं, वही सेवा माताएं भी कर सकती हैं.
Mothers can do the same service that men do.
माताओं कन्याओं की सेवा करनी चाहिए।
Mothers and maidens should serve the mothers and maidens.
भाइयों को भाइयों की सेवा करनी चाहिए।
Brothers should serve the brothers. It has been said in the Avyaktvani, for example, when someone visits your house, you certainly ask him for water. Don't you? If he simply goes back without having anything, it is considered to be bad, isn't it? In the same way, whoever comes in your contact, definitely ask him for the water of the father's introduction. If you narrated to him a little, it is like you asked him for water. If you gave him the 1-week course, it is like you served him Brahma Bhojan. Definitely, give them something or the other, because you are the children of the giver. It has been said in the Bhagavad Gita, the donation of knowledge is especially better than the donation of physical things. The one who donates never becomes destitute. His wealth keeps increasing. This is why it is said, Dhan diye dhan na khute. Wealth doesn't exhaust by donating it. Here also, the more someone donates knowledge, the more he thinks and churns. But you don't have to gather just subjects by giving them the message. You have to bring up the air-like souls as well. You have to work hard to explain every person individually. You have to pay special attention to some points while giving knowledge. Some start giving knowledge while traveling and then become engaged in worldly talks. Instead of giving the father's introduction, they tell them something of their own and listen to some of their knowledge. The loss is that the time no doubt goes waste, and at the same time, the knowledge doesn't have any effect on the listener, but worldly talks affect the narrator. Taking shortage of time into account, try to explain in a nutshell as much as possible. If the person is interested, you can start giving him the course directly. Also, there are pictures depicted in the book, a unique plan. You can explain to anyone by showing them the pictures. Never insult any specific religion or person while narrating the knowledge. Don't describe the greatness of your celibacy or sacrifice. You shouldn't force others for dharna by telling them about the rules first either. You shouldn't narrate knowledge to others by scolding them or by forcing your opinion over them. You shouldn't narrate the knowledge without understanding it yourself or by memorizing it from books or by listening from others. There is no need to narrate many shlokas to show your wisdom. You shouldn't make the father's introduction difficult like Valmiki Ramayana. In fact, you have to narrate the story of Ram in the language of the general public like Tulsidas did. The opposing party is using all its might through body, mind, and wealth by taking the support of black magicians and through every means. You shouldn't run away being influenced by them. When you have belonged to Shiv Baba, you will definitely make attainments. But if you leave him, you will undergo complete degradation.
मधुबन छोड़ करके घर जावेंगे तो वहाँ माया मुंह फैलाई बैठी हुई आओ आप कर लेगी.
If you go home leaving Madhuban, Maya is sitting there with her mouth wide open. She will gobble you up.
खा जाएगी.
She will eat you up. Whether someone is a big officer or a small officer in the military, everyone is looked upon with respect. They receive honor on becoming victorious and a tricolor shroud on dying. Neither the country, the society, nor the family respects those who run away from the army. This is why God said to Arjun in the Gita, if you don't fight the religious war, you will be dishonored, which is worse than even death. Now, the Mahabharat war is standing ahead. It isn't a war of arrows and swords, but the war of knowledge. Today, the entire world is in front of a handful of Pandavas. The Kaurva army comprises of aged Bhishma Pitamaha, that is the sages and sannyasis of the end of the Iron Age who spread the wrong knowledge of God being omnipresent and call themselves as world guru. There are the congressmen, politicians, Kauravas, the children of Dhritarashtra, the blind devotees of Krishna who don't accept the knowledge easily, the foolish, egoistic scientists who prepare material for the destruction of the world, and there are many departments in the form of infantry, cavalry and chariot riders of the democratic rule. This is why you have to prove from every viewpoint that the child Krishna isn't the giver of the knowledge of the Gita, but it is Shiv Shankar Bholenath. This is not an ordinary board. This is the massive Mahabharat board of knowledge. Everyone has to pass through it. Like Abhimanyu, you shouldn't become egotistic with half knowledge and be trapped alone in a troop of opponents. There is going to be a barrage of numerous questions in the form of arrows and swords.
जैसा कि आपके द्वारा कहा जाता है कि आप ना तो कुछ लेते हैं ना कुछ देते हैं, ठीक है। इतना बड़ा स्ट्रक्चर यहाँ दिल्ली ऑल ओवर इंडिया में चल रहा है, तो विदाउट फंडिंग में कैसे चल रहा है?
बाबा वीरेंद्र जो दुनिया बदलने की बात कर रहे हैं, कब तक दुनिया के सामने आएंगे?
मैडम, अगर आप भगवान को साक्षात मानते हो तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने आपको फिर वकील क्यों खड़ा किया?
Those who are full of the power of knowledge and yoga will be able to reply, and those who are empty will refuse.
मैं इन महारथियों के साथ युद्ध नहीं कर सकता, नहीं कर सकता।
The conch has been blown, drums of defamation have been beaten. Now, until when will the Pandavas await justice from the court, that is propose a truce, or will they blow the divine conch of the Vani of God? It has been said in the Murli, when you prove God of the Gita, you will become victorious. This is why, most importantly, everyone has to come together and prepare themselves on this topic. There is no need to read the Vedas, scriptures, the Quran or the Bible for it. You needn't argue with the compilers of scriptures either. It is because our knowledge isn't from the scriptures at all. Baba has said, Gita is the principal scripture, which is truly spoken by God. In the world, so much of burden is put on the children. Here, Baba has given only one book, the Gita, which Shiv Baba has clarified according to the godly knowledge before him. It has been said in the Murli as well, you shouldn't be a Brahmin or a Brahmani just for the sake of saying it. Those who have memorized Baba's knowledge of the Gita are Brahmin and Brahmani in reality. You have to explain to the entire world on the basis of the Gita. You have to make such a strong impact that the voice reaches the media. Because today, it is the media that influences the entire world. This is why the very media that defamed God should be compelled to praise Him. All these opponents like Kansi, Jarasindhi, Shishupal etc. should finish, and the revelation of the one Father should take place. The promise made to the Father should be fulfilled, and everyone should say, Our Father has come.